The main character, Elias, is a human engineer living alone on a frontier planet. Years ago, he rescued a small alien child from a crashed royal ship. He raised her as his own daughter. Her name is Lyra. Elias knows she is not human, but to him, she is just his child. One night, the sky turns black with massive alien warships. Soldiers surround Elias' small home. A tall, powerful alien woman steps forward. She introduces herself as the queen of a galactic empire. Her words shake everything. "I came to your house to take my daughter." Elias is calm but tense. He refuses to step aside. Lyra hides behind him, shaking. The queen explains Lyra's true identity. Lyra is a royal heir. Her power could decide the future of the galaxy. The queen believes humans are weak and dangerous. She demands Lyra return to the palace immediately. Lyra speaks up. She says she does not want to leave. She calls Elias her father. The queen is shocked and angry. The soldiers prepare to take Lyra by force. Elias stands between them, unarmed. End the hook with tension. The queen gives Elias one cycle to prove that humans deserve to keep her. If he fails, she will take Lyra forever. Welcome to my channel Sci-Fi Love Story. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Elias lived on the edge of the stars, where no empire cared to look. His house stood alone on a quiet human colony world called Rhineth, a place forgotten by maps and ignored by trade routes. The land around his home was flat and open, with tall grass that moved like waves when the wind passed through. The sky was wide and blue during the day, and at night it filled with more stars than most people could count. Elias liked it that way. He was not a soldier, he was not a hero. He was only a human engineer who fixed machines that no one else wanted, old ships, broken tools, forgotten tech. He worked with his hands and lived in silence. But he was not truly alone. Inside the small house lived a girl named Lyra. She looked mostly human at first glance. 2 arms, 2 legs, small frame, but her eyes were different. They carried a soft silver glow like moonlight trapped behind glass. Her hair was pale blue, almost white, and her skin never burned under the sun. Elias had found her 10 years ago. Back then, a burning object had fallen from the sky during the night. It crashed far beyond the hills, shaking the ground like thunder. Elias had gone to investigate at dawn, expecting wreckage or debris he could salvage. What he found instead was a broken royal escape pod. And inside it a child. Lyra had been small, injured, and terrified. The pod carried markings Elias did not recognize, written in a language no human used. He knew immediately she was not human. But when she reached out and grabbed his finger, crying softly, none of that mattered. So Elias did what humans had always done. He brought her home. He never contacted the galaxy, never sent a signal. He fixed the pod, hid it, and raised Lyra as his own daughter. He taught her human words, human customs, human kindness. He taught her how to laugh, how to hope, how to choose. And Lyra grew. She learned fast, too fast. She asked questions about stars, about energy, about things no child should understand. But Elias never pushed her. He let her be a child. To him, she was not an alien. She was his daughter. For 10 years, the galaxy stayed silent. Until the night the sky went dark. It happened without warning. Elias was fixing a broken power unit when the lights flickered. The air grew heavy, like the world itself was holding its breath. Outside, the wind stopped. Lyra stood still in the doorway. "Papa," she whispered, "they found us." Elias felt his heart tighten. Before he could ask what she meant, the sky above the house split open. Massive shapes appeared among the stars. Black metal ships, larger than cities, moved into orbit. Their surfaces glowed with blue energy lines, ancient and powerful. One by one, they blocked the stars until night became shadow. The ground shook. Bright beams of light struck the earth around the house. Alien soldiers appeared, tall and armored, weapons raised but not firing. They formed a perfect circle around the home. Elias stepped in front of Lyra without thinking. Then the soldiers parted, and she walked forward. The queen was tall, her presence heavy, like gravity itself bent around her. She wore living armor that moved like liquid metal, shaped with symbols of power and command. Her eyes burned gold, ancient and sharp. She looked at Elias as if he were nothing. Then she spoke. "I came to your house to take my daughter." The words hit Elias like a blow. He did not move. Lyra grabbed the back of his shirt. "No," Lyra whispered, "Papa." The queen's eyes shifted to the girl. For a moment, something unreadable passed across her face. Then it hardened. "You belong to me," the queen said. "You were stolen." Elias finally spoke. "She was dying," he said calmly. "I saved her." The queen laughed softly, but there was no humor in it. "You are human," she said. "You do not save royal blood, you delay it." She raised her hand. The soldiers tightened their grip on their weapons. "Step aside," the queen commanded. "This is not your child." Elias did not step aside. Lyra stepped forward instead. "I don't want to go," she said, her voice shaking but clear. "He is my father." Silence fell across the field. The queen stared at her daughter in disbelief. "You were raised wrong," the queen said. "Humans are weak, emotional, temporary." Elias clenched his fists. "She chose," he said. "That's what matters." The queen turned back to him slowly. "You dare speak of choice to a queen?" she asked. "Yes," Elias replied, "because humans believe it matters." The queen studied him now, really studied him. A single human, unarmed, standing between an empire and its heir. "Very well," the queen said at last. "You will have one cycle. One cycle to prove that humans are worthy of shaping my daughter. If you fail," she continued, "I will take her, and you will not survive the attempt to stop me." The ships remained in the sky. The queen did not leave. She watched. Over the next days, she observed Elias and Lyra. She saw him wake early to fix machines for others, never asking for more than enough to live. She saw him teach Lyra how to cook, how to read, how to apologize when wrong. She saw humans argue, laugh, cry, and stand together. The queen did not understand it. Among her people, strength was everything, love was weakness, emotion was control lost. Yet Lyra's power, her dangerous royal power, remained calm here. Until the attack came. The sky burned red as enemy ships broke through orbit. A rival faction, sensing opportunity, struck the undefended world. The queen's guards moved to respond. They were not enough. Humans grabbed old weapons, old ships, broken tools. Elias ran with them. A blast threw him across the field. He fell hard, blood staining the ground. Lyra screamed. The world froze. Energy burst from her, bright and endless. The battlefield stopped mid-motion, ships locked in place, enemies unable to move. The queen felt it. And for the first time in centuries, she was afraid. Because Lyra's power did not answer royal command. It answered human love. The queen looked at the wounded man on the ground and whispered, "What have humans done to my daughter?" The battlefield remained frozen. Ships hung in the sky like broken stars. Enemy soldiers stood locked in place, weapons half raised, faces frozen in fear. Even the wind refused to move. At the center of it all stood Lyra. Her small hands were clenched into fists. Her silver eyes burned brighter than ever before. Energy poured from her like light from a rising sun, spreading outward in silent waves. Elias lay on the ground several meters away. Blood stained his shirt. His breathing was shallow, uneven. One arm was twisted beneath him at a painful angle. Lyra saw only him. She ran to his side and dropped to her knees. The frozen world did not stop her. Whatever power held everything still made space for her steps. "Papa," she whispered, pressing her hands against his chest. "Please wake up." Ilias groaned softly. That sound alone was enough to break her focus. The energy flickered. The frozen battlefield began to move again. Ships groaned as systems restarted. Soldiers cried out in confusion. The wind returned, carrying smoke and the smell of burned metal. The Queen stepped forward quickly. "Lyra," she commanded, her voice sharp with fear she did not hide. "Control it." Lyra did not look at her. She placed her forehead against Ilias. "Don't take him," she whispered. "I'll do anything." The Queen stopped. For the first time since arriving on the planet, she saw the truth clearly. This power, this impossible reality-breaking power, was not tied to royal blood alone. It was tied to bond. The Queen's guards moved to secure the area. Medical units rushed in, some human, some alien. They worked together without orders, driven by the same fear. Fear of losing the man who stood between worlds. Ilias was taken inside the house and placed on the old work table where he had fixed machines for years. Human medics worked beside alien healers, their methods different but their goal the same. Lyra did not leave his side. Hours passed. The Queen waited outside, standing alone beneath the dark ships. Around her, her Empire's soldiers watched humans move freely among them. No one fought. No one shouted. They simply worked. At last, one of the healers stepped out. "He will live," the healer said. Lyra collapsed into a chair, shaking with relief. The Queen closed her eyes. That single moment changed everything. The council arrived the next day. They came in ships sharp and bright, symbols of many empires flashing across their hulls. The leaders of distant worlds gathered on Rhineth, drawn by fear and rumor. They had felt the power. They demanded answers. Inside the largest hall the colony had, Ilias stood before them, still weak but standing on his own feet. Humans filled the space behind him. Farmers, engineers, pilots, ordinary people. Lyra stood at his side. The Queen took her place across from them. "This child," one council member said, his voice cold, "is a weapon." "No," Ilias replied calmly, "she is a person." Murmurs spread across the room. "She can freeze fleets," another said. "She can break empires." Ilias nodded. "Yes, and she didn't." Silence followed. "She stopped only when I was hurt," Ilias continued. "Because she cares, because she was raised to care." The Queen spoke then. "Among my people," she said, "power is trained through control. Emotion is beaten out." Her eyes moved to Lyra. Humans did the opposite. The council turned to Lyra. "You must choose," one of them said. "Return to your empire or remain with this human." "If you stay," another added, "humans will be watched, restricted, controlled." Lyra stepped forward. "I choose both," she said. The council laughed. "That is not possible." Lyra lifted her head. "I am royal by blood," she said, "human by heart." "I will not abandon my father," she continued, "and I will not abandon my people." The room shook slightly as her power responded, not violently but firmly. The Queen felt it and nodded slowly. Before the council could answer, alarms screamed through the hall. An attack. A rival empire had been watching, waiting. They saw confusion and weakness and moved to strike. The sky burned again as enemy ships poured into orbit. This time, the humans did not wait. Old ships lifted from hidden hangars. Fighters repaired with scrap and hope roared into the air. Human pilots flew with instinct and courage, weaving through enemy fire. Alien commanders watched in shock. They should retreat, one said. They don't know how, another replied. Elias stood in the command center, helping coordinate defense using systems he barely understood, but adapted quickly. Humans don't fight to win alone, he said. We fight to protect. Lyra stood beside him, calm now. She closed her eyes. Her power spread again, not freezing but guiding. Enemy weapons misfired. Shields weakened at perfect moments. Human pilots struck with impossible precision. The Queen led her fleet beside them. For the first time in history, humans and aliens fought as equals. The enemy broke. Their ships fled or burned. When the battle ended, silence returned to the stars. The council reconvened. This time they stood. Humans will be recognized, one said, protected. Lyra turned to Elias. Can we stay? She asked softly. Elias smiled, tears in his eyes. Wherever you choose, he said. The Queen stepped forward and did something no one expected. She knelt. Thank you, she said to Elias, for raising my daughter. Lyra hugged him. And the galaxy learned a lesson it would never forget. Humans did not rule through fear. They ruled through love, choice, and the courage to stand when it mattered most. End